My name is Aleksandr Zakharov. I'm the developer and original source of the methodology mathematical modeling of geophysical anomalies by calculating natural biorhythms. This methodology does not exist in science. We are interested in forming a large team and a working group to develop a new scientific direction, mathematical modeling of geophysical anomalies by calculating natural biorhythms. We invite scientists to participate in the development of this new scientific direction. If through ordinary monitoring we cannot see the approach of geophysical anomaly in advance and predict the development of the situation, then there must be other methods of predicting unpredictable anomalous geophysical processes. Now let us turn to the statistics of studies on the methods of mathematical modeling of anomalous geophysical processes. The methods were developed back in 1998. Scientific provisions of methods of mathematical modeling of anomalous geophysical processes through calculations of natural biorhythms open new scientific and practical opportunities in early prediction and direct management of anomalous geophysical processes. It is possible that this scientific topic is a new direction in science. This direction covers a wide variety of anomalous geophysical processes. These are hurricanes and tsunamis, tornadoes, frosts and droughts, floods, earthquakes. These geophysical anomalies are the source of many accidents and disasters. For example, release of natural energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation affects the operation of devices and even the consciousness of people, which leads to accidents in transport, accidents in the operation of important industrial and infrastructure facilities. Let us consider in more detail the statistics of manifestation of geophysical anomalies. We can take a database of already occurred anomalous geophysical processes for any calendar year. And if we analyze such a database, we will get a strictly defined algorithm of manifestation of anomalous geophysical processes. And vice versa, if we form a forecast for the time of manifestation of anomalous geophysical processes according to such an algorithm, we will actually get the manifestation of anomalous geophysical processes according to such an algorithm with an accuracy of at least 90–95%. This applies to earthquakes, temperature fluctuations, floods and so on the list of anomalous geophysical processes. Man-made, transport, industrial accidents and catastrophes are also associated with the manifestation of anomalous geophysical processes. This applies to aviation, space systems, automobile and other types of transport, failures in the operation of devices and even more so electronic systems. The most important feature in the application of the above algorithm of manifestation of anomalous geophysical processes is the possibility to create a number of special computer programs. According to these programs, it is possible to predict and warn a dangerous situation for any person or object, for any vehicle or territory with accuracy up to the day and hour of the day, and up to 98% of the accuracy of implementation. Justifiability of the forecast. Why does the release of natural energy occur at all? What is the mechanism of this process? If we imagine our planet as a boiling cauldron, then the very process of release of natural energy is nothing but a dumping from this boiling cauldron of the excess energy produced by the planet. This is visually manifested in the form of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, in the form of hurricanes, large-scale cyclones, in the form of magnetic storms, in the form of electromagnetic radiations. Certain aspects of such processes are reflected in changes in the Schumann frequency. And if we have an algorithm for mathematical modeling, calculation, of such duration of abnormal periods, we can confidently predict the possible consequences of such a process. If a cyclone is impending on a particular region, and if the calculations of the period of release of natural energy show a long activity, then the forecast of risks for this region will also be correspondingly dangerous and even catastrophic. And such a forecast will allow effective preventive measures to be taken in advance measures, and reduce the consequences of such risks. Thus, through mathematical models of the development of geophysical processes, we can far in advance predict the moment of release of natural energy, the scale of the anomalous geophysical process, and the catastrophic consequences of the anomalous geophysical process. Thus, as the algorithm of calculation of days of release of natural energy and their summation in the period of several days is known, we can predict anomalous geophysical processes even for a year in advance and even for several years, with accuracy up to 98%. These algorithms, these mechanisms allow us to manage destructive geophysical processes on a large scale, and for especially important territories and, accordingly, for large masses of people. Now let us consider a natural process: floods in spring and summer, large-scale melting of snow and ice and flooding of large areas. When forecasts are formed by well-known scientific methods, the temperature on forecast days, humidity, wind speed, intensity of sunlight and many other things are taken into account. But such forecasts are often inaccurate. They do not take into account the natural release of energy during floods. It is natural energy releases that significantly accelerate the melting of snow and ice, even if air temperature and humidity remain unchanged. Nature seems to add power to the snow and ice melting processes, significantly increasing the magnitude of floods and their drama. Other example in seismic risk regions. It is important to note that we will do this for the sake of forming a real and maximally accurate earthquake forecast. So, the forecast should contain an indication of the location of the expected earthquake, the time of the earthquake and the level of scale and power by magnitude. As we noted above, there are a number of regions on the planet where earthquakes constantly occur. That is, we have the location of the earthquake in the form of these specified regions. The time of earthquakes is indicated by our methods of mathematical modeling of seismic activity through calculations of natural biorhythms. Thus, the time of probable earthquakes is also known to us with an accuracy of up to a day. Our website provides a natural schedule of earthquakes on the planet by days for any month and year. Let's consider the question of in what exact place on the planet, in what exact region of the planet, in what country an earthquake will occur. To do this, we must join forces with hydrometeorologists in places of seismic activity, join forces with seismologists and even with ornithologists, because birds are the first to react to the approach of an earthquake. As a result, we receive the so-called hints for each selected region, and in total, we receive a forecast by place, time and power of earthquakes. The natural schedule clearly and distinctly indicates to us that there is a duration of the release of natural energy in certain periods of time. The longer this duration, the more powerful and large-scale the earthquake can be. Thus, to obtain the most accurate forecast for the probability of earthquakes, we need methods of mathematical modeling of earthquakes and combining efforts with the above-mentioned scientific specialists. Then we will get a forecast of maximum accuracy. Thank you for your attention.